Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my review of The Sunday Without God, episode 8, entitled Goran Academy 2. So apparently it's Goran Academy instead of Gola Academy. I'm getting these episode titles and descriptions here off Wikipedia, and if you look on Wikipedia here with the character section, when it has the characters from Goran Academy, it actually says Gola Academy, and before it said Gola Academy with the episode titles. But now they switched the episode titles to Goran Academy 1 and 2. Alright, so that's good. But anyways, though, there's no description here, so I actually had to type up some notes again. Alright, so this episode basically starts out with Alice playing basketball on a basketball court, which seems very random. Alright, then the scene cuts to a conference that I is holding, saying who wants to leave when they make their big escape. I, Alice, Harley, Volrath, Dee, Gigi, and Run all want to escape from this place, but to everyone's surprise, Tanya, Mimi, and Meme say do not. Tanya's reasons is because she feels that the sudden return home to her very small village would distress her parents too much. Mimi and Meme believe that their parents would not want them home because they come from very noble roots where prestige comes above all else. I gives them a speech that they should still escape with them, and if they can't go back home, they should find a new place to go home to, and if they can't do that, then they should build it for themselves, because that's what dreams are all about. In response to this, Tanya blurts out saying that I is too much for her and runs out of that room. The next day, everyone is in another class. After that, back in the conference room, I is holding another conference, but the only ones that showed up were her, Dee, and Alice. Dee explains that although what she said about dreams was right, chasing their dreams isn't as easy for some people, such as Tanya. Alice then says that whether Tanya goes or not, they are, so if I wants her to leave with them, she'll have to get her on board before they finish. Alice and Dee are then talking outside. Alice stating that I has no common sense, but both of them agreeing that this is hopefully what's going to get them out in the future. The next scene is with Tanya doing her laundry when I shows up unexpectedly, wishing to talk to her about what she said earlier about her dreams. I tells Tanya about her mother that she was a very unusual person who wanted to create a heaven-like utopia where the dead people could live in peace, but she died when I was only 5 before she could realize that dream. I said that she grew up her entire life thinking that the villagers she was surrounded by, even her adoptive parents, were all alive. But then her father, Hampney, showed up and revealed that they were all dead shortly before he himself died. Tanya then lamented that I is strong and that she is too much for herself before going away again. The next scene is back in the conference room where I, Alice, Harley, Volrath, Gigi, and Run are all meeting up and are ready to escape together at 3:00 p.m. when security is at its lowest. At that moment, Mimi and Meme both show up, saying that the two of them, as well as Momo, have all agreed to escape too. However, their reason for changing their minds is rather unknown. It was actually kind of random. I manages to convince everyone to hold up from escaping for one more day so she can try to convince Tanya. That night, she goes to Tanya's room, but Tanya won't let her in. She then tells her that they will be escaping tomorrow at 3 o'clock p.m. before leaving. Yeah. Hold on a sec here. Alright. The next scene is with Alice having a weird daydream, then being interrupted by I, who confesses that she doesn't know about her dream anymore. When she says that she wants to save the world, Dee says that they do too, however, not in the way I does. Alice wants to save the world by destroying it. He then begins to explain himself. He says that there are two worlds, calling one of them the objective world. It's a world where no observer exists, so even if humanity went extinct, the world would still remain. However, the other world is called the subjective world, where no observer exists, which he defines as people like them. Alright, the people are the observer, basically. The existence of people is known as an observer, I guess is the way he's trying to explain it. And no observer exists. Dee explains that most people see the world subjectively, so only certain people exist to them. For Tanya, that would be her parents, and for Alice, that would just be a small community. And I suppose for I, that probably would have been her village and whatnot, back when she still lived in her village. Alice believes that this world can be saved through destruction, confusing I greatly. And this is never elaborated on in this episode again, mind you. The next day, when they are about to escape, Tanya still hasn't shown up yet. I says that she wants to stay behind and wait for Tanya to come around and escape with her, and Tanya, who won't stand for the fact that she would stay behind for her sake, decides to leave with him after all, who was, I guess, eavesdropping in on their conversation or something. After everyone finishes being overjoyed by Tanya's decision, they climb the final ladder to freedom and begin to escape into the dark world when the teacher, who seems to be the only teacher at Goran Academy, by the way, opens the academy doors, catching them. Then a very, very, very short fight scene begins. The teacher pulls out a long gun and shoots many shots at Alice, who also pulls out a gun and shooting, using his bullets to block every one of hers off, revealing that his skill to be perfect aim. Knowing that, she leaves them be, ending the fight in a very underwhelming way. I mean a very underwhelming way. After that, Yuri drives up in the van without Scar and her baby, taking I, Gigi, Volrath, Harley, Tanya, Mimi, Mema, and subsequently Momo, obviously, Run and Alice aboard. When I questions Yuri where Scar is at, he says that he left her behind for some odd reason, which isn't explained, and that basically ends this episode. Alright, so now let's get into the review. And let's try to do this quickly. So yeah, basically this episode was okay, and it looks like it's finally finished up this arc in just 2 episodes, which I was surprised at. But I do have some problems with it, though. Obviously, you know, the animation's up to par, and so is the music. No real complaints there. But here's my problems, though. There's lots of instances in this episode where things that aren't explained. Like, why did Yuri leave Scar and her baby behind? Alright. Why are they just now explaining Alice's power of perfect aim just so randomly like that? Alright, why did Mimi and Meme decide to escape with them? Why did Tanya decide to go and eavesdrop on them and decide to escape with them? Because obviously, you know, there's no way she would have known that I was going to stay behind for her. And you know what else? Something else? I did not see Gigi, or I mean not Gigi, D in that van. So why wasn't D leaving with him in the van? You know, now that's really explained. And that fight scene was so underwhelming, like I mentioned before. Honestly, I wish it would have been a little bit longer. Even if they had to elaborate on so much stuff to split this into a 3-episode arc, I wouldn't have mind, honestly. Alright, so those are basically my complaints. Alright. Well, other than that, though, it was a pretty solid episode. It just begs the question, though, what the hell are all those students going to do now? Are they just going to stay with I and Yuri? And furthermore, where the hell did Yuri leave Scar and her baby at? And why? I really hope it explains that. He didn't just decide to be a dick and just leave her behind for no reason at all, did he? He does not seem like that kind of a person to me. Oh, and also another thing it didn't explain on after Alice mentions that he wants to save the world by destroying it, that's never brought up again. Really? Something like that could have been a pretty awesome plot point is never brought up again in this episode. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, maybe they will in the future, but right now it isn't looking too good for that. Alright. So yeah, but overall I did really like this episode though, but it was definitely a downshot from the previous episodes, in my opinion. So yeah, but anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.